world right now. Don't even worry about me. Don't worry about me. Seriously, I got music going. It's going to keep going. It ain't going to stop. Hold on. I got to stop it right there. Those are tracks for me, bros. Those are bangers. You guys don't know my life. It's Spanish Wednesday. Welcome back. Welcome back to Marantz Rantz. Plenty of good information, a little bit of motivation, a whole lot of truth, no financial advice. I told you what it was.
Welcome to Marantz Rantz, no advice on finance, spin the wheel and take a chance, get an NFT and a little education, the system got it told, and knowledge is location. You want to learn, well, you came to the right place, you pump an AMC, might get slapped in the face, get the due diligence, know who the villain is, don't be a sheep when the shepherd's carnivorous, so come learn, laugh and maybe you win big, and listen up, y'all, the wheel is not rigged, everybody get a chance in the live chat, you don't know spin wheels, you win just like that, retail fight pack, it is retail winning, y'all just wait, man, this is just the beginning, all fellow Simmons, Jimmy Group singing the truth, we just chilling, infinity pool swimming, so welcome to Marantz Rantz, a lot of knowledge but no advice on finance, don't even need man, check out doing big, and the mailman, internet's most hated, don't want to lose your money, and it's time for you to listen to the ignorant, invest in AMC, a superstition, the stream about ready, they told us that don't man, I do what I want, welcome to Marantz Rantz, 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 welcome to
there it is. Amazing. We got through the whole song. Yes. Got through the whole song. Phenomenal. Best intro music in the whole wide world. In the worlds of Spanish, it says, Buenos noches y bienvenidos a Marantz Rantz. The best program on YouTube. El programa, el mejor, I don't know. En mejor, YouTube. You know what it was. Are we in a hurry? No. The truth is, when I listen, can I tell you what it really is? The mic is down. The mic good now? The mic's good? Thank you. Do that, Jimmy. No, do that to Jimmy. No. Check this out. Here's what happens, okay? So you guys are going to find out my trick about life. Some I've been doing for the last 5 years. You guys know how I try to catch up to the rest of the world on education and presentation and the channel and all the information I process. And you guys probably wonder how I do it. Okay, I'm gonna give you a pro tip. I don't tell this to everybody. All these years, I gotta tell you my secrets. I don't watch anything at normal speed. Nothing. I watch everything at 1.5 or 2.0. Every single video of knowledge and information, I process it faster than most people because I'm going through all the content faster. I have to play catch up. So if it's going to be a book I'm reading I read really fast silently. Not out loud. It's different because my mind reads faster than the words I say. If you understand how I recite things and how I talk, I can go just boom, 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 boom. It's how my mind operates. So when it's going that fast for me, 1.5 to 2.0, that's normal speed for me on listening and retention. And I retain the cognitive load of it all a lot. So that's just how I operate, guys. So if you ever want to know how to beat the system, play it faster. And then you'll get through a whole lot more. So when you listen to podcasts, even myself, 1.5, that'd be awesome. When I listen to Tonko Native, I got to put him at 3.0. That guy's slow as bricks. That's just the way I do it. So there's a pro tip. Marantz is coming from Spadikin. Spadikin writes in a super chat, a $10 super chat. Spadikin, $10, bro. Me and you, we're going to be talking for 10 minutes. You guys know that my time is $1 a minute. That's all it is. He just bought me for 10 minutes. I got you. Convert the Marantz theme song into Spanish for Wednesdays. Ooh, I got to have, what's it called, do that for me. That's what I got to do. That's my fault, guys. So, what's good so far in 2026? Spade again, I'll get to in a minute. What's up, Marantz? Just waiting here, or waiting. Did you mean to write waiting? I'm down with you. Pick up some food. He said the mic. The mic is down. No, are we good now on the mic? Maybe it's good. We're doing a speed run. Can we talk in private? I need your help, Esse. Spade again. First off, bro. You calling me Esse, Holmes? What's up with that, bro? Trucha, Holmes, trucha. You ain't nothing but a feed behind that. You guys can't talk to me that way. It doesn't work that way. I can't be just sitting back talking that way. You guys kidding? That shit left me in 5th grade. I didn't even talk that way in 5th grade. My cousins do. They still talk that way. All my cousins still talk. It's gross. Quick, 1.5 Marantz live stream, doing the best we can. Blessings, everyone. I agree. So welcome back, guys. What are we going to do tonight? We're going to do a little exercise called You Are Right and the World is Wrong. That's the exercise, because we're going to go over GameStop's earnings. Now, I do this. I have been doing this for 5 years. For those of you that have been with me for 5 years, you know that I do this. I will go over earnings before they actually are announced. And then I give you approximation, a guesstimation of where GameStop's earnings are going to come in. And I can't even tell you how many times we've hit it dead on the money. We probably hit it maybe 3 times. And I'm talking about within $1 million or $2 million. 3 times within $1 million or $2 million. how many times have we hit it within 10 million? Probably all of them, almost all of them. Certainly on adjusted earnings, always. It's so easy on adjusted earnings. But the fact that some people out there, I don't know, they self-proclaimed experts or financial engineers and or experts, and they were off by over $500 million last quarter, $800 million last quarter. That's ridiculous. You shouldn't even have a job, or you shouldn't be in finance if you don't know how to do simple math, simple arithmetic. It's what I call Minnesota math, if you guys aren't paying attention. If you guys don't want to know what Minnesota math is, you take the amount of children in Minnesota, right? If you guys weren't paying attention to what's happening on the Hill, you take the amount of kids in Minnesota, and then you take the amount of kids that are on the spectrum, and it's probably around 30,000. And then you go look at the $343 million that they put towards the programs for that. There's a lot of fraud in there. I'm just letting you know, because you don't need that many dollars to go ahead and take care of that many kids. But that's a huge number. I'm just trying to give you an idea of the optics of that. That would come out to $100,000 a kid or something to that nature. I don't even know what it is. I'm not good at math, but I will tell you that there is extreme fraud and waste out here. There's a so-called war that's happening. I feel about it a certain way. Maybe you guys don't. Maybe you've never been abroad and guarded a military surplus. You know, these little facilities that have now cost the lives of 6 United States military members. I'm not proud of it, and I never will be, because I know what those kids had to go through to get into that spot, and they were probably nervous, probably scared, or they were probably lied to tell them, you know what, it's not that big of a deal. You're in Kuwait. You're in a safe spot. Nothing happens here. We're just a logistics center. We're just a surplus. We're just a holding facility for inventory. All of the above, right? Yeah, until a drone comes crashing in, and then it ruins everything you've ever, all the kids that you ever raised or whatever it may be. It's going to ruin a whole family. It's not just going to ruin the kid who died or the U.S. service member who passed away. There's loved ones that are involved. I always have a loss for it all, because it happened to our community here where I live. My high school that I went to, a young man graduated. His name was Hunter. Here I am. I'm like, his name was Hunter. And Hunter was one of the soldiers killed in Afghanistan. So it's a big deal. Hunter Lopez, if you guys don't know. One of the things that the military does is they promote people as they die. So when you die, they always give you a promotion to the next rank up. It's just like a customs and courtesy thing they do. So forgive them for saying, Sergeant First Class, Sergeant First Class, Sergeant, blah, blah. It was a specialist. If you guys know anything about a specialist, just a kid. He's just a kid trying to come up in the world, probably been in the military for 18 months, and there he is. He's in a position that he didn't want to be in, and it's unfortunate. But you know what? We all take the vow, right? We all take the vow that we're going to command and conquer, I guess, because that's what our commander-in-chief is doing. Do I agree with it? I never do, guys. I never do, and I never will. I deal with life in a whole different way. It's not that I don't protect my people and my country or want the best for everyone. I do. It's how you go about it. Everyone's afforded the heads up, okay? Before we actually get into GameStop and doing all that, everyone's given the heads up. Hey, by the way, we're about to bomb this facility. By the way, we're about to do this. And how do you know the heads up came? Because they emptied out the embassies, they got out all the people they wanted to, all the diplomats in the world, and then they went ahead and sold off the market. Now we can attack. And that's exactly what happened. So you can tell me any way you want to. You can tell me it's something else. You can bullshit me. You can try to mask it, but you can't, because now I've seen 8 sites of U.S. intelligence get bombed on over the last 24 hours. And you can't tell me that you're that naive to it all, what's really happening out here. So be proud, be happy. But that flag that flies behind me is not for the weak. It's not for the meek. It's not for these guys who have never served and try to tell you how you're supposed to operate and function with that sacrifice that's happening across the ocean right now. So that we can sit here and watch the show, of course. I'm very thankful. That's my point. I'm thankful to the families. I'm thankful to the service members. And it's extremely unfortunate for what's happening right now, all for greed. You could tell me it's for the greater good, but I'm sorry. No one's ever attacked me on my home soil, so I'm good. Somebody else will tell you a different story. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, let's talk about the real market. The market no one wants to talk about. It's GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I watched a Dynamite_41 video. If you guys don't know who Dynamite_41, it's DANAMITE_41 YouTuber. Talks about GameStop. And what did he talk about? He talked about there's this book called Connect the Dots. He talked about the book. He also talked about the fact that private equity comes into your companies and the reason why they're leveraged and the reason why they're doing what they do is because that's what they're paid to do. And there is one company in America that's the most red, white, and blue thing you can do. It's called GameStop. And the rumor is that GameStop is going to allow Pokemon vending machines in their buildings. Is that a good thing? It can be. If that's the partnership, it can be. If that's the workaround inventory. But in addition to that, it's going to help you sell, accessories and other items that would go with the cards that you buy, like the top loaders and all that goes with it. I got you. I had a conversation with someone today. It was actually a very good conversation. They were already putting in vacation for this Grand Theft Auto thing. And I said, "You're really doing that?" He said, "Man, let me tell you, I already told my boss I'm ready to go. I'm ready to take the whole week off." So people know Grand Theft Auto is coming out this year. If you own a PlayStation 5, it's an ideal thing to do. But for me, no, it's not me. It's not me. I'm playing WoW. But there's enough people in this world that are ready to play that damn game, and they're ready to come back to consoles, to gaming. They're of age, they have the money, and they're gonna fork it out. So I'm excited for what's gonna come our way for this year, especially if you're a GameStop investor. That's slotted to be coming out in November. What GameStop will do execution-wise is going to be massive, and I'm sure they're gonna pounce when it's time. So I'm excited for GameStop on that end. Quarter 3, quarter 4, it'll factor in for quarter 4 of next year. Well, we just got a report on a quarter 4 right now. That's what's coming out this month. So we're gonna go over that in detail, the complete breakdown of GameStop and what it is. But I do want to brainstorm on the other side of things. I know Dr. Michael Burry, 8 minutes before I go live, Dr. Michael, you want to put out a damn post on Twitter about what I'm going to talk about tonight. And what he's going to talk about is stock-based compensation from companies and how they're not putting it on their books as far as it being an expense and or a loss. The first time in history right now, NVIDIA is coming out and saying that they're going to do it now. Now they're going to do it. So now they're going to factor in the $8 billion, $3 billion a quarter, $8 billion a year, whatever they've been pacing for of stock-based compensation. Yes, it's going to affect the bottom line. Yes, it's going to tell you the true math on some things. But what people are not realizing is that if you're a current shareholder and you're not selling and you're hanging on to them, realize what's about to happen to you. If you're Palantir, it's already happening. Peter Thiel and Alex Corp and everyone's selling those shares right now. I had went and looked at the buy to sell ratio sheet. Everyone was selling and only one person was buying. And I'm not even saying Ryan Cohen. It was somebody from another company. I couldn't remember. But at least like 80 transactions happen where everyone's selling. And people would think that's normal, and it can be normal. But it can't be. The one thing that it can't be, it cannot be ignored if you're a legacy holder for these same companies, because they're diluting your float with stock rewards, with RSUs and PSUs. I'll give you the example, AMC and Adam Aaron. Adam Aaron just pocketed 1.5 million more shares of AMC via what they called a performance stock unit. If it's a PSU, performance-based. What performance other than losing $600 million could you tell me that would give you that? It was going to be the cash on hand and or the overall revenue. So it's very simple. I get to spam it all to you. Doesn't matter what the revenue number is. I tell you, people and variables and measurables kill me on this every time. They try to measure what revenue means to you as a company and try to give it value. And I already told you, it's not about dollars, it's about units. If your foot traffic's down per store, per building, per institution, whatever you own, if your foot traffic's down, that's the true number. Just because something cost more doesn't mean that you made more. Not at all. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a pre and or post-COVID dollar. Everyone understands the supply chain shortage issue. Everybody understood that the impact that COVID had on retail sales on Target, Best Buy, Costco, Walmart, GameStop, it increased. Everyone increased in 2022 because you had that COVID dollar. Now everyone's going to tell you $2,800 is nothing. A child tax credit is nothing. Those aren't real dollars. They're not understanding wealth. They don't understand how wealth actually circulates and trickles all the way to the top. Because I will show you $6 trillion that was printed by the Fed during COVID is now sitting in the Mag 7 and the S&P 500, and how the NASDAQ 100, how everything's so top heavy because the money finally trickled up to the top. You have to bail out at some point. At some point, somebody has to have a correction for all the free money that was printed. And what is that correction? Yeah. It's stagflation. It's not. Everyone's saying inflation. It's upon us, and the Fed's trying to get us down to 3%. There's no real growth. There's no real growth because the GDP growth that you need here in the States is driven by capex. It's actually driven by expenses. So it's not there. Whatever they've been telling you is not true. NVIDIA dollars, NVIDIA profit, as everybody wants to walk around here like NVIDIA's profitable, they're the best company in the world. Guess how they make their money? CapEx. It's business to business. There is nothing consumer to business. There is no real fundamental economic dollar driving the outcome of these markets. So you don't really have this prosperous economy like they're pleading to you. It's not that. It's a facade. It's just numbers that are increased and inflated based off of the money that was printed 6 years ago. That's the truth. Now what do we do about it? Well, you look at people like Target, and people understand Target produces a higher number in revenue. Awesome. They hit the revenue number. Did they hit the profit number? No. This is what I'm telling you. Don't pay attention to revenue. Everyone's trying to do that because they've never owned a business. They've never run a business. They don't understand balance sheets. They're obtuse. That's what they are. So for the guys out here writing these D&D pieces and coming out and saying, and I didn't call it DD pieces, not due diligence, Dungeons and Dragons, okay, D&D, it's wishful thinking, it's fantasy land, to say things like GameStop's revenue's down, so they're a terrible company, they keep shrinking, where are they going to go? They keep selling off stores, they keep getting rid of things. You're not understanding. When you're making more profit right now is where your margins are increasing. Can you imagine when this gets right? Can you imagine when everyone comes to the table correct? Because right now it's overextended. It's overextended on the fact that everyone's paying extended dollars for what they thought it was. Supply chain shortage issues. That's not the case. Go ask anybody right now who has to go ahead and give a refund and or drop down. You know what you do in business? I don't know if you guys know this part. It's like a trick you do. Like you're going to do a refund, right? Just, hey, all you business owners, pay attention to me, okay? So you go out there and you get the phone call and someone's upset. I want this refund. I grew up in the world of Costco, where Costco tells you how to do refunds. You just say yes. Who cares? We don't care if we lose that dollar because we get you in the long run, right? The lifeline of a member, it'll go 10 years, it'll go 20 years, and what are they going to spend? $3,000, $4,000 a year. So you're going to get back $40,000 off that one person because you gave them a $40 refund. What does it matter? It doesn't matter what you refund. You're going to get it all back in the end. Okay, I got you. What happens when you own a business? Something like GameStop, and somebody comes through and GameStop says, you know what? We're going to try to make you whole on this. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take out my cost. I don't feel that I actually earned your profit. I'm going to take out my cost. I'm going to give it to you at cost. Do they even know what at cost means? Do they even know what it means that you have a markup of what, 10, 20%? Is that what you are? You're probably really 60, 40, but they don't know that's how you operate. There's all of these pros and cons of how you structure words and presentation that makes someone feel whole. That's all it is. That's business. It's not that you're lying. They don't need to know what you paid for it. That's why I tell you guys, nobody knows what GameStop's cooking. Nobody knows what their margins are for Power Packs. Nobody knows their margins for online e-commerce. Nobody understands what they're doing with the products that they actually own in-house. When you have private label, and you have all these things that they've actually bought in general, like the stuffed animals and the Candy Con controllers and the partnership with Gomer Pyle, whatever his name is, Lucky Palmer, all these guys. So when you see what's happening with the GameStop and you can't explain the transition and everything, just know this. If the units are up per building, if the square footage is up as far as how you're paying for it, leasing-wise, you're on the top side, we're going to look at all those numbers, and they're all going to make sense to you. Because there's something about having inventory being flat, okay, and profits going up. When you have inventory flat and profits go up year over year over year, that means you're more efficient at what you're doing. And that's exactly what GameStop has been doing for 3 years. No other company that I've seen via Wall Street that I pay attention to, I've paid attention to all the retail companies, they can't make this claim. because they're not negotiating. They're not in a power position. They're selling other products that they're in competition with Costco, with Walmart. How are you going to beat those two? How? You're Amazon? Good. So now I have 3 people that are winning. Who else is next? Well, I've got the one up next. I've got them, and you got them. You got them in your pocket. It's called GameStop. But you got to teach people retail before you get to talk about how it all really is done. Clint Fields, keep up the great work. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You bought me for 20 minutes. I got you, bro. Okay. So here's my thing. Okay. If you guys don't understand the fundamentals of retail, then you will never understand what GameStop has done and what they'll continue to do and become a more profitable, viable investment for you. You have to think, you have to divorce yourself from I'm this employee and or this is the way I think, this is the way. You have to adopt the idea that you are a shopper, consumer, and this is what you want to see moving forward. Always put yourself in that shoes. Whenever I walk in, I don't walk into there as a shopper. You see? I'm the complete opposite. People walk in there as shoppers. I walk in there as management. When I walk in, I look at it and say, okay, this is merch wrong, this is merch right, this is what they're doing. That's how I view the store. Then I turn it around and I go, okay, now if I'm the consumer, what am I looking at? Because I get to wear both hats because I've done both jobs. That's why I reported back to you guys this way. That's why when I walk in and I saw a table in the middle, I go, whoa, that's risky. Because I know what the square footage costs. If you're going to have a little four-layer kiosk with some T-shirts or something else, it all depends on what you're trying to make money off of. But if you have the space and you have the time, what are you promoting? Rip some cards, do it here, rip and submit. Boom, you're going to make money differently in the long run. They buy a pack, that's a shirt. They submit a card, that's a shirt. How many shirts are we selling here? Well, we're submitting 50 cards a day. Well, don't you think that space is worth it now? That's the difference, okay? So appreciate you guys so much. Marantz, I need to talk to you in private. I need the military. Bro, you guys got to stop that. I showed you guys at the beginning of my show. I showed you my notes for the show. It said Target because I was going over their earnings in my brain and looking it over. And then it also said daylight savings time for this weekend. So this weekend, yes, you have daylight savings time. If you are in America, the way we do it, we bounce forward. We spring forward 1 hour. That's how we know it. So you're going to lose some sleep. You do what you do. Supplies are considered current assets. Isn't that awesome? It really is. Okay, let's go get it. Yeah? Can we go do it now, guys? You guys are too busy watching markets all day. Here's what they've been doing. They've been watching this stock. Check this bad boy out. So GameStop, I have 2 trend lines here. I have the purple line, I mean this turquoise line. That's going to be your level of support that you'll never fall under. I mean, that's just the way it's been. And then you have the purple line, the one that we're actually guiding towards, and we have this breakout coming. It's coming. Could be earnings, could be now. This is the weekly chart. But you know, the one thing GameStop doesn't have to do, they don't have to battle themselves. Okay, there's nothing here that says, well, they made a promise. This is what I mean by battle yourself. GameStop doesn't make promises on actual outcome of markets and price targets and guidance. They don't do that. They just go out there and they do the work. That's what they do. So as long as we can get above this purple line back into it on the daily, on the weekly we already are. We're flirting here. But this is good support. This is a good run. But if you don't see it, this stock did a complete George W. As in it went down, it came up, it went down, retested the bottom. That's a double test of strength. It came out up top, recovered completely, and now it's holding off onto a handle, and it'll break back out. So is that what I see this stock doing? Yeah, I see some push down here from way over here to here. This is going to be that angle of this bullish roof that I call it on the top of your Dorito. So it's right here. You see it, plain as day. That right there is going to put you in a good mix along with this turquoise line. So this is what you're looking towards all the way up to earnings. Once you get up into earnings right here, it's in a couple of weeks. We'll break up or break down, you tell me. But if we go sideways, it's going to adjust a lot of things for us. A lot of things. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it going sideways because that means we're all going to make a lot of money. A lot of you guys have been compounding your positions and then buying more GameStop than ever. But at $23.87, that's my cost average. My cost average, just so that we're clear for everybody, is right here at $23.63. You guys can see it on the screen. This is my cost average, $23.63. I have 2,485 shares for $58,728. I played this to the bottom dollar, meaning I'm tapped out. I knew I was tapped out. I knew where I was headed, and I'm okay with sitting on it for right now. Am I going to add more? Yeah, I'm going to be averaging up. I don't have a problem with that just because I know where I'm coming from. I don't worry about entry so much. A lot of people do worry about entry because they're not looking at the end of it all. They're fearful of what this accomplishment will be for them because they don't know how to live it out. Been 5 years, been in the stock. It's been amazing, and I'm up $591. So yes, $100 each year, $120 a year. That's cool with me. It's a lot of money to me considering it's on a flight of $58,728. But that $58,728, it's the most cash I've ever saved without having an obligation to anyone or anything. So I'm happy with it. I'm satisfied with it, and I'm still cruising towards a bigger goal coming up for next year. If I can get to where if I can really get things sorted out, I want to hit $60,000. Yeah, I'm short about 200 and I'm not good at math. 270, yeah, 272, 271, 271.61. So I need $271.61, and then I'll go ahead and get that. But who knows? We'll make it there. We'll make it there very soon, bros. I'm just going to chill. I give myself small goals, and when I hit them, I celebrate. This is GameStop, guys. If you guys are not familiar, this is going to be what we're going to be going over tonight. The actual earnings report that's coming out is going to be the annual. It's going to be the 10K, not the 10Q. It's not a quarterly. It's the annual report. You will get the 4-quarter report. But in addition to getting the 4-quarter report, you get the actual 10K. So we're going to go over the 10K completely, you and I, when it comes out at the end of the month. I'll be live at night. I will not be live during the day, but we're going to go over all of that with you. I'm here, but behind the stream, let's go. I'll buy $100 a share. This is a lifelong endeavor. Yes, Kingsbury. Isn't that amazing? Powered by the players, Connect the Dots, the book. Yes, you can order the book, guys. If you guys have not received your copy, we have great shipping. The shipping and distribution that we picked, Trove really helped me out with that. Lulu set it up for me, lulu.com. You can Google it and look up Marantz Rantz on lulu.com. You can also get in the description of the video, and every video has the description. Even the homepage has the description, and even Twitter has the link that you can order the book. Buy one, read it, enjoy it. It's a great read, and it's going to make sense to you if you're a GameStop investor, even more so. The book is telling you why GameStop is going to be the best investment for the next 50 years. The book is telling you just how great it's gonna be moving forward. And speaking of 50 years, just so that we're clear with what Dr. Michael Burry, the guy that's what he called GameStop, he called it the best investment for the next 50 years. And a lot of that has to do with that they're not doing any funny business. I told you guys that. They're not doing the funny accounting. NVIDIA's coming to grips right now by saying that they're going to include their stock-based compensation part of their GAAP principles. That's new. That's new because now it's going to force AMD to do the same, Palantir to do the same. Numerous other companies are going to have to adopt this way of doing their accounting and how they report because you have to show your investors that this is where we're at. This is the truth. The truth is everyone's getting rich off of this investment, and we're asking you guys to buy more. That's the truth about NVIDIA or any other company out there. For me, I just buy GameStop, and the truth is my CEO, chairman of the board, Ryan Cohen, he's buying a lot more than anyone in the world. So for him to buy $20 million last month and then to buy, another $10 million the previous year and $10 million the previous year, that's a lot of money for a guy who gets paid $0 from the company. Everyone can buy shares all they want when they're getting paid from the company. Well, that's counterintuitive. It's like you're paying it back. Stop circulating funds there, CEO, whoever you are. But for GameStop, Ryan Cohen, he's the man, Until proven otherwise, he's the man. And I don't have to say until proven otherwise. You ever met someone who walks up to you and goes, "Hey man, I see you've been working here for 20 years." You're like, "Yeah." Like, I just want to ask you, man, are you checked out or are you all in, bro? Are you all in or what? Like, I've been here for 20 years. If that's not all in, I don't know what is. I can't prove to you that I'm locked in after 20. How am I going to prove it to you in this moment? I'm not. Whether you know me or not, let's figure it out. What's your agenda? What's your point? Well, why are you even asking? Why do you second guess it? That's my point about investing with GameStop. I read the Discord, guys. I see all the new guys come in and they have their doubts. Well, what about this? Or what is Ryan going to do? What is GameStop going to do? You're doubting Ryan? You're doubting GameStop? You've been here for 5 years. What's there to doubt? Move on. Move on if you're going to doubt it, because I'm telling you now, you're going to be heartbroken. Oh, you know me, I plan for the worst. I expect the worst, and I plan for whatever. I don't even know. Like, are you guys employers? You guys ever been an employer? I'm an employer, right? Have been my whole career. And I'm an employer, and I used to interview people. It's a true story. I interview people, and I have a good feeling about the interview, and I have a good feeling about the person. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm going to change your life. Let's get you in here. Let's give you the job. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. When can you start? I can start on Monday. Oh, perfect. I'll see you next week. Next week comes, and they don't show up for the job. And you got to ask yourself, like, why? Was it me? Did I do something? Nope. They just used that experience and that opportunity to leverage their current employer to a better position. So how do you combat that? How do you do it? You don't hire one, you hire two. You hire three. And you explain the process and you say it. You go, listen, we're going to hire three of you. You're all going to try out for the first month. Whoever gets the best, whoever catches on the fastest, that's who we're keeping. The other two, your services won't be needed, but you'll be on call. Now it's a game of who's going to perform better, who's going to show up on time, and who cares if somebody called out and says they're not coming? Guess what? Stay home. I'm good. But you have to plan for it all. That's what I do. When it comes to investing, I plan for it all. I really do. That's why I'm prepared to lose 100% of what I put in. That's what people say. That's what they say when they're uneducated about their investment. I'm not prepared to lose 100%, or else I would have never put in $1. That's my mindset. I'm so educated on my investment that I'm fearless, and I'm the worst one you could ever want because the emotion is taken out of the trade. A lot of you guys have that in you, and you would have it in you if you made smaller investments. If you knew that you nickel and dimed it all the whole way through, $10, $20, $10, $20, you're just like, man, that's my lunch money. Let it sit there. Let it do what it does. It's not affecting my lifestyle. It's not affecting what I do. That's why I do it the way I do it. Look at Ryan. Ryan's a billionaire. Do you think GameStop investment of $100 million was making or breaking his day? No. But if you were leveraged, if you were over the top and you just, to the gills, then you're Dr. Michael Burry. Guys all want to compliment him. He saw the signs. He also leveraged himself several times and sold. Same thing with Tobit. Same thing with everyone else around me. People that leverage themselves and sell because they're emotionally tied to, I've got to lose. I've got to take it. I've got to take these profits, or I got to get out of here, because they haven't figured out that over time you harden. Over time you get better at this, and you get more educated on it. So that's enough of the philosophy. Let's go ahead and explain why we're so educated. Here we go. GameStop. Welcome to this. I see we got a super chat. It's my fault, guys. It says blood in, blood out. Vato Locos Homes, 51 gang. You know what it is, Ricky B. Loco. Thank you, Ricky B. You got it. I love the paperback, but I'm waiting for the hard copy to read it again. Michael Venuti, I appreciate that. We're working on that. I believe I'm meeting up with Trove this weekend. We had planned it out. We'll have to pencil it in on stone. I have a lot of stuff going on this weekend. I don't know who Dr. Doom is. I do know who Dr. Doom is. Whatever, BR Doom, whoever. We're doing a show right now, and these dudes are fighting it out in the Discord, and it's going off like crazy for me. So shout out to them, I guess. Got nothing to do with me. You guys keep handling, okay? I'm good. I don't know if they're talking about fighting are they fighting a gorilla? What are they doing? 100 men versus a gorilla? 100 men going to win, bro. 3 men can beat a gorilla. Am I wrong for saying that? Maybe it's the wrong gorilla or the wrong 3 men. Which one is it? That's hilarious. I don't think 3 men could take a gorilla unless they had like spears or something. But La Primera lives. Cool, bro. Cool. All right, here we go. So GameStop, let's go ahead and look at the overview for us first. First thing that comes to mind is going to be the market cap. It shows you 11% down. That's not the way I live. Right now, year to date, GameStop is up 20%, essentially 19%, 18% year to date right now. From January to now, we're up and to the right. If I go over 6 months, we're still up 4%. Let's go to 3 months, we're up 2%. So on all metrics there, we're up. How about a month? We're down on a month? Okay, cool. So year to date, 3 months, 6 months, how about a year? Over a year, we're down 2%. So I would call that flat. We're literally flat, and I'm okay. 5 years, we're down 23%. After all the bullshit they want to talk to you, we're down 23%. So there's going to be a time where we're up even on the 3 year and vice versa. Max, we're up 849%. So this stock is just built different. The chart is built different for GameStop, and you should just know that going in. Revenue, $3.81 billion on the trailing 12 on revenue, down 12%. Not bad considering we've closed X amount of stores, and that's been the trend line. But we'll see how we go moving forward. Our net income, even though we've lost revenue 12%, our net income is up 568%. The earnings per share are up 387%. And this is adjusted diluted shares, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see it again at the end. Shares outstanding, 447. We know that to be 448. These guys need to get updated. PE ratios are at 28 plus, which is fine. I remember when we didn't even have a PE ratio. If you knew, people would be like, what's your PE ratio? And they'd make fun of you because you didn't have one because we weren't profitable. It's okay. I remember the pain. I remember all the people saying this to me, and I'll never forget it. The spread on the stock, 43 cents, guys. 43 cents is the spread from high to low, peak to trough. That's fine. Even on the 52-week average at 1993, all the way when the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl to 35.81. 35.81 is right there. So we're at 23. So we're on the low end of the year high. Feels good. And then the price target has not been updated because there is no price target. There's not a single institution and or financial bro that actually gives a price target in a raid into GameStop officially. Everyone's afraid to do it. Let's go to the quarterly. Here's your quarterly report for GameStop on income statement. On the income themselves, guys, 821, 972, 732, and 1283. This is what we're battling. We are coming in against this number of 1.283, and that is versus Christmas. If you look at last year, we were at 860 versus 820, where there was a $39 million difference in revenue. We are less than. We are down 4.5%. But that is not the truth. When you really look at them, there's more interesting things to look at because we're going to associate revenue, but we got to jump over to the balance sheet. And here's what I want to look at for you guys on accounts payable themselves, just so that we're tracking on quarter three. We did 494 last year versus 380. So we're rolling over $110 million less, and our revenue was only $40 million difference. Why do I say it that way? Because your current portion of the leases, what you paid to actually make that $860 million of revenue, you paid rent and leases $157 million, and you had accounts payable, which could have been electric bills, utilities, all of it. But you paid a combined amount of around $650 million to generate the 8. I'm just letting you know, it doesn't go on the same line. It doesn't work that way because there's COGS and there's everything else. That's not what I'm saying to you. Pay attention to what I'm telling you. Fundamentally, as a business, as you run it, it was 494, we'll just call it 5, plus the 150 on current leases. We're getting the same amount of money, $40 million less, and what did it cost us? 94 and 380. Literally cost us $50 million less. We're less than $200 million on the plus side, and that's based off of what we spend. Expenses, controllables is what I call it. What are your controllables, guys? When we go back to our controllables, they're right here. Your controllables are going to be mixed in with SG&A. A lot of people, like Tony De Niro, who doesn't have a clue as to what SG&A means. That's why when he was breaking it down like a year ago or 6 months ago, he got it all wrong. He's like, yeah, this is because the stores and this is because of the payroll. And then he starts saying some dumb shit. Oh, no, he said this was wrong. He said cost of revenue. Oh, the cost of revenue is and that's where he said it was going to be payroll, expenses on employees and all that. And that has nothing to do with cost of revenue. Cost of revenue is the cost of goods sold. Okay, it's the COGS themselves. So it's hard to explain these things to these guys who've never done a balance sheet themselves, so don't let them fool you. But GameStop went out for $600 million versus the $547. We were doing it with $53 million less dollars, and yet our gap was only 40. So 39, actually. I apologize. So phenomenal numbers, okay? Gross profit was increased for GameStop, $273. to 257. So we were increased $15 million. And when you look at SG&A, what it actually cost payroll wise versus the 282, that's the real difference there. That's $60 million of increase in profit. So when you look at operating expenses right here, we were negative 33 million and we came in at 40. There's an offset there. And we'll talk about all that and when it comes time, because right here is your offset. You also have, I mean, we would have been like $90 million for the quarter if we didn't have an offset, and it would have been 90 plus 42. It would have been 122, 120 adjusted, but I leave it where it's at. Okay. So as we look at the whole number and we keep going through and we keep playing these games with numbers that we see for GameStop, I want you guys to look at the revenue. You see it? We're at 1.2 for quarter four. Where are we going to come in at? For me personally, if it's a 5% difference like it has been here, we're 5%, we're up 20, and we're down 17. We have fixed this. We have fixed quarter one because the way we're operating now. But versus the previous year coming through, they had these were the double-digit losses we had on revenue. Massive numbers, 30%, 20%. We now have that little under control where we're increased and we're literally flat. We're literally flat versus last year on revenue, but we'll see where we headed for quarter four. But I'm going to give you a fair number. So I'm going to go ahead and do with the trend, and let's just say 10% down. Have we ever been 10% down? No. Quarter four, it's always been much more than that. We were at 1944 the year before, and now we're at 20. I mean, we even went further down, and we just closed all these stores. But I'm going to go 10%. So if I'm going to go 10%, we're coming at 1160. 1160 on revenue. When you go to cost of goods on 4, you'll see what we were costing before, 1.3, 900 million. And you see these numbers here to generate the 1.2 just at the rate we've been doing it, just so that we're clear on this. You are looking at it's down here, 28% gross profit margin. We've outpaced 28% the whole time. We went 34, 29, and 33. The 29 was a console cycle, was the Switch 2. So I'm going to say it's not going to be apples to apples. You're looking at, if you see here, the pace, 27, 31, and 29. Then you came out with 28. So no different. 34 and 33, I think we come in at 32. I'm going to be fair. So at 32% of the number of 1150, 1160, you guys can do that math for me, but somebody can type it in the chat too, whatever it ends up being, but I'm not good at, I'll do it for you. So you're going to have a 30, what did I say, 32%? So let me do it really quick just so that we have the number. So we have 11, I'm going to make it flat, 1150 times 32%, and that's going to be 368. So it looks like we're going to have gross profit of 368. That means we will beat last year. But because I like to vary and waive it, I want to come down to 360. I'm going to be fair and say 360. Is that fair with everyone? I'm going to go with 360 on gross profit. Now we're going to substitute what our SG&A total will be. For quarter three, SG&A was 290, went flat to 283 because it was Christmas. You hire, you prep for it. Quarter three, that's what that increase is from 270 to 290, $20 million. But let's just say we're now in a different world where it's not 263 and it's not 216 and it's 232 is the $20 million increase. Usually from here to here, $20 million increase. I'm good with it. I really am. That means we're going to be flat or less than. But since we're coming in at $360 million, and you're going to take away 230, I'll keep it flat. It means we're going to come out ahead $130 million of operating income. 130 is the number I have, guys. You guys can tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong, but I'm going to go with my simple math of $130 million. I'm writing it down so I have it, so I don't come off that number. So we're at $130 million for the quarter operational profit. Then we're going to add in, and I'm going to go with $90 million. This is adjusted, by the way. There is unrealized profits from Bitcoin. There is other investments that I'm not aware of, or maybe even tax implications. But adjusted will be $90 million on interest. It's going to come out to $220 million. When you take away the 133 that we made last year, the same quarter, okay, quarter 4 made $133 million at the end of it all. For whatever reason, they've adjusted the net income on common here on this website. I don't know what they're factoring in on their stuff, but that hasn't been the case for GameStop forever, because when I go to overview, it's still here. So I don't know why they're doing it that way. You can't fool me. Website's wrong, stock analysis is wrong, but I'm not going to care if they're wrong, right or wrong. 220. What did I say, 220 or 230? It was 130 plus 90, 220. So 220 minus the 131 from last year, because that's how much we made last year. That's going to put us at $89 million plus the 421 plus 89. We're coming in, guys, at $510 million adjusted income, net income for the year. $510 million. Simple math, easy to do. You can't miss it by $500 million. You can't miss it by whatever it may be. Now listen, what are we not factoring in? What are we not factoring in other than the fact that $510 million is, as of right now? We don't have power packs. We didn't put power packs on that number. We barely put PSA in the graded cards because we still don't know how we get paid out on them. But there's some variables in there that we haven't really factored in. And that's okay, because I'm going to be able to take 510 to the bank, and whatever else is coming in is just going to be, icing on the cake. But we're looking at $510 million to a company that they said would never make a profit, and every 2 years they're going to make $1 billion. Literally $1 billion to the bottom line every 2 years. So 10 years from now, go ahead and put it down. They're going to be good for $5 billion more dollars. I think I'm going to be here. I'm just saying, this is real compounded interest and profit. It's going to go a whole lot higher than that. I'm just being simple with you guys. But it's going to go way higher because you're going to have more cash. You're going to have more this, more that. I told someone, I don't know who I told today. I had spoken to someone. I said, you know what? GameStop has from now until October to shock the world. And I think that's what's going to happen. Wouldn't you like to be invested for this is about to happen? $510 million of profit, which the world said you could never make. Just to equate it to anyone else out there, a $10 billion company can't be worth $10 billion when their cash is $9 billion and they're making $500 million every year. That would be a P ratio of 2 plus cash. It's just not even possible. Oh, Marantz, you can't do that. You can't because there's debt involved. Yeah, well, then you go tell me what it's worth for 7 years. Because they literally are going to collect interest for 7 years before that debt gets called. I'll be here. Remember, the interest generated from the cash they borrowed is literally like $2 billion. So we get to give back the 4.5 that you guys keep calling debt, but we keep the 2.5. So it's just going to cost me $2 billion of money that you gave me that I can just give right back. I mean, they won't ever do it that way, but I'm just saying. But your argument is null and void. GameStop's about to crush it, guys. $510 million is my call. It's a simple call. I'm not going to go more in depth and try to guess all this, because there's going to be all these conversations after GameStop's earnings comes out about how many stores they have, what they're projected to do moving forward, and how can you still manage this growth if this is where we're at. That's all they can do right now. Because remember, it's adjusted, and what does that mean? Minus the one-timers, where would you be? If you guys are not familiar, I mean, shit, this is going to be a good one for you right now. Let's go do this for you, just so that we're clear. If you guys don't know why this number is going to go up from 421 to 510 and then go even higher than that, I'll show you why. It's right here. This is why the number is going to go so much higher. One is going to be Their operating income, the previous years, like quarter one right here, this had a write-off of 35.5. We had another one right here at 10.7. So you're going to get back these $45 million to the bottom line. So 510 plus 45 is you're going to get there. You're going to get to 550 just off of that. Not to mention the interest is now at 90 million, not 7. Rates adjust, Marantz, the whole world. Okay, good. But you still owe me $30 million here. So now we're at a different number. Now we're at 590, 580. We're already there. What else is there? There's the write-offs themselves. You had to do write-offs, and why did we have to do them? Because when you guys saw the whole Bitcoin, you guys saw the warrant offering, everything they've done, they actually had tax write-offs in there that they actually had to take expense-wise. Those are all one-time things. They won't exist again. So the $42 million, that comes back to the bottom line as well. So $600 million next year. If you guys could give me $500 million one year and then increase it 20% on earnings, the following year, you went from 6 million to 133 to 500 to 600. That's a track. And think about it, from 6 million all the way to 600. What's the percentage of increase there? Is it 1,000? No. Is it 10,000? Yes. 10,000% increase. And people need to do all this math. But I'll be here. I'll be here to tell you were wrong. That's what we're here for. Because we own the stock. We like the stock. Do you? Now, what are all the factors, all the variables that we're not adding up? There's a couple out there, okay? The first one out there, hold on. He said, "Can GameStop go to $4 this week?" Is that a question? Here's the answer. Okay, we'll never see you again. There it was. I hope you know how it feels, man. I don't even entertain the scrubs. Literally just showed you $500 million. If you can get it for $4, that'd be awesome, wouldn't it be? But you're not going to type that in the chat and feel like you got a place here. You got no home here. You're gone. Life goes on. Here's what comes out to the variables that we're not talking about. One is going to be Ryan Cohen announcing a massive deal coming forward. How do you give that value? How do you associate that with profit and growth? That's the true level of, the true measure for where we're headed. All these guys who say they're invested and they're not selling, like I saw Domo Capital say some bullshit while promoting other stocks in addition to that. Like every other tweet is a different investment, a different this. Yeah, all you guys can miss me with the bullshit. It's GameStop only. Hi. All of you guys who hate me for saying it. There is only one investment in the whole world that the world should be making, and it's GameStop stock. That is it. Nothing else. No one can show me the turnaround. No one can show me the added value. Nobody can show me that because we're not given the premium that Ryan Cohen will command very soon. And what is very soon? It's relative. I have forever, so everything's very soon to me. You know why it's very soon to me? Because 5 years passed, and it feels like yesterday. I was in my kitchen just a couple of days ago. Hi, my name is Marantz. I got a couple of things I want to get off my mind, off my heart, off my chest. That's it. You guys got to factor in Ryan, factor in the announcements, factor in everything. I mean, shit, we didn't even talk Grand Theft Auto. What that will do to the bottom line, what that's going to do to revenue. I mean, we can start talking about the events of Pokemon, the 30th edition, and everybody buying cards, and all the pre-orders are in, and everybody's coming, right? That's cool. That's what we're supposed to do. We're already supposed to be at that level. We already are. So now we talk about synergies, we talk about partnerships, mergers and acquisitions, and then maybe we'll have that conversation about, manipulation of the stock itself. I don't care about that one bit. Manipulate it all the way down, guys. Shoot that shit down to $10. I'm gladly to do it. I'll be there, and I'll be scooping them up all the way through. So I think they figured it out. I think they know they can't win this one. So you might want to start a war, bro. You guys might want to do something to distract the rest of America from what's really happening out here. Me, I love everybody. I wish well for everyone. Whether you're a day one investor, day 5 investor, or 5-year investor, just know I want the best for you. Whether you have 1,000 shares, 10 shares, or 1 share. I'm still wanting the best for you because life is short and everyone deserves a hug. That's it. Not everyone. Not everyone. But some. Anyway, get ready for the earnings, guys. Get ready for the announcements coming at the end of this month. I'm very excited for GameStop. I think GameStop's going to perform well. I think the stock should go up in value up until then, up and to the right. I think we're going to hold over $24 by the end of this week. And I think we can really do this. I think it can be that life-changing opportunity in front of you. And what would you do? Well, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit tight, play a couple more Spanish songs, get out of the way. You guys, it's always been a good night for me. Keep grinding. 51 shares, 51 team. You know who you are. GameStop. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop. I'm going to see you around, millionaires. Peace.